Okay, so today we'll talk about Adam and Eve. Okay, um, this is just some inserts, and what actually got me going on it was Rose got to talking about Lilith, and so I actually looked up Lilith to just kind of touch up on it. So this is actually the Lilith myth. And then as we read it, we started decoding it, and this is what we got out of it. So, Adam's helpmeet. So, having decided to give Adam a helpmeet lest he should be alone of his kind, God put him into a deep sleep, removed one of his ribs, formed it into a woman, and closed up the womb. Adam awoke and said, "This shall be named woman, because she has been taken out of man. A man and woman shall be one of flesh, one flesh." The title he gave her was Eve, the mother of all living.
Very nice. Do you want to stop there and have a quick go through all that?
Yep.
Right. Let's have a look. The first thing it reminded me of was, remember that image where you got the one like lightning strike splitting into two, where you got a positive and negative.
Mm-hmm.
You remember the depiction of that, where you got
Yeah.
a positive and negative? That's exactly what I thought when you first read that out. I thought this is like an electrical process where it's dividing one from another to create a male and female.
Yep. Yep. Or positive, negative, male, female.
Yeah, that's what I got from that straight away. But we'll carry on, make it more interesting.
Okay. Some say that God created man and woman in his own image on the sixth day, giving them charge over the world. But the Eve did not yet exist. Now God had set Adam to name every beast, bird, and other living thing. When they passed before him in pairs, male and female, Adam, being already like 21-year-old man, felt jealous of their loves, and though he tried coupling with each female in turn, found no satisfaction in the act. He therefore cried, "Every creature but I has a proper mate," and prayed God would remedy this injustice.
Interesting. It's like there was a positive looking for its opposite, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Positive negative connection. I don't, I'm not looking at it as a person describing what they're looking at here. I'm looking at these electrical connections being harnessed and made into something, basically. What do you
Yeah.
get? What do you get out of that one?
Well, and remember what we talked about? How the magnets would seek each other
Yeah,
to to grab hold of each other.
yeah, the attraction.
Yeah, but it's basically the same thing. Yeah, he's seeking out his opposite.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I don't know what the age has got anything to do with it there. 21-year-old man felt jealous of their loves. It's like it's like that electric bolt's looking for a pair, well, a partner, isn't it? Something, some kind of
Yeah.
interaction they're going to go on.
Yep. So God then formed Lilith, the first woman, just as he had formed Adam, except that he used filth and sediment instead of pure dust. From Adam's union with this demoness and with another like her named Nama, Tubal, Cain's sister, sprang Asmodeus and innumerable demons that still plague mankind. Many generations later, Lilith and Nama came to Solomon's judgment seat disguised as harlots of Jerusalem.
Do you see why I found it so interesting now?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Yeah,
Peekaboo.
they're all interesting, aren't they, once you start looking at them?
Yeah.
There's lots to get
Because
through.
Lilith gets forgotten about all the time. And it's very annoying. It has always been annoying to me. And then, because it's always about the females being forgotten about or suppressed or whatever through history and everything else, isn't it? Supposedly, and whatever. And then with these eyes, it was like, well, that sounds interesting because she came first and then it went wrong. She wasn't good enough. So then Eve came along.
Well, and the fact that he used filth and sediment instead of pure dust, that again would be like the positive negative, right? The pure dust seems like it would be a positive, and the filth and sediment, is like negative to people.
Yeah.
Demons and demonesses are, as I've thought, they are a frequency. I always go back to when Jimbo played Solomon's Demons for us that one time. Remember that FPV?
Yeah.
And it actually went through and listed what each demon would plague mankind with. But it was simple things like sickness or headaches and that to me sounded like different frequencies that would cause those to man.
Yeah, that's like you put in that clip you put out about the EMF.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And the forest where people go.
So the demons, you could class them as harmful frequencies then.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what I've been thinking for a while, yep.
Yeah, that would make sense.
So then Adam and Lilith never found peace together. For when he wished to lie with her, she took offense at the recumbent posture he demanded. Why must I lie beneath you? She asked. I was also made from dust, and therefore I am your equal. Because Adam tried to compel her obedience by force, Lilith, in rage, uttered the magic name of God, rose into the air, and left him.
That is so easy, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Right. Because they can't lie together, it's the magnetic repelling of each other. She got repelled because of the magnetism. It's a positive and negative of a magnet you're looking at, and one's caused the other to be repelled because they can really never be together. They can't get close enough to actually be together, and that's why she left him. She was flung aside basically because of the forces between the two magnets. So you're looking at magnetism here.
Right, exactly. And like we had talked about, and you said the other day, when you put two magnets and you try to push one down on the other, it pushes it back into the air. It keeps pushing it back up. You can't put them together. Anybody that's ever played with magnets knows that.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense because we are looking at magnetism and electricity.
Yeah. So Adam complained to God, I have been deserted by my helpmeet. God at once sent the angels Senoi, Sansenoi, and Semengaloth to fetch Lilith back. They found her beside the Red Sea, a region abounding in lascivious demons, to whom she bore Lilith at the rate of more than 100 a day. Returned to Adam without delay.
Again, but already you can see there where we at. They found her beside the Red Sea, a region abounding in lascivious demons. Now, the Red Sea to me is not the sea that we know of. The Red Sea to me now, I think, is the Lake of Fire down below. A region abounding in lascivious demons, which it would be. You know, you're looking at a nuclear lava down there. That's what's telling me there. She ended up somewhere beside the Lake of Fire. So there must have been a big piece of repelling going on, and it just flung her up in the air somewhere, and she landed by the Red Sea, basically. So this is taking place underground, it's telling me, not in our world, but in the underworld.
Right. She bore to him Lilith at the rate of more than 100 a day.
Yeah, what does that tell you? That's unusual, that is. Poor Lilith at the rate of more than 100. So what is a Lilith?
Her babies, her demons.
Frequencies then. We're looking at lots of frequencies. There's more than 100 a day.
And we've got to remember they made a point of saying Adam was 21, so we've got to keep in mind 21, this 100, and any other specific numbers that come up to.
Yeah. I'm not getting the connection with the 21 just yet, but one of you guys might.
Yeah, it's just, you know, stick a pin in it, isn't it? It might be.
Yeah. The numbers will come into play somewhere. For sure.
Return to Adam without delay, the angels said, or we will drown you, Lilith asked. Lilith asked, how can I return to Adam and live like an honest housewife after my stay beside the Red Sea? I will be death to refuse. It will be death to refuse, they answered. How can I die, Lilith asked again, when God has ordered me to take charge of all the newborn children, boys up to the 8th day of life, that of circumcision, girls up to the 20th day. Nonetheless, if I ever see you 3 names or likenesses displayed in an amulet above a newborn child, I promise to spare it. To this they agreed, but God punished Lilith by making 100 of her demon children perish daily. And if she could not destroy a human infant because of the angelic amulet, she would spitefully turn against her own.
Interesting. That's kind of telling me that there's harmful frequencies that can harm humans, and you know, if this technology breaks that rule, then there's going to be trouble. Not the angel room for you. That's I'm kind of looking at there. If she could not destroy a human infant because of the angelic amulet, she would spitefully turn against her own.
And she believes going back to the source would be death.
It sounds like it's you know, relating to, if it goes out of specification or something, there's going to be a problem. I can't see anything more in that I can pull out of it.
Okay. Some say that Lilith ruled as queen in Zamargad and again in Sheba, and was the demoness who destroyed Job's sons. Yet she escaped the curse of death, which overtook Adam since they had parted long before the fall. Lilith and Nama not only strangle infants, but also seduce dreaming men, any one of whom, sleeping alone, may become their victim.
That's got to be frequency related, hasn't it? EMF, things like that. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I don't know who Job's sons is. I've never read Job's or Job. But it could relate to nodes on a halo or anything that. She escaped the curse of death which overtook Adam. It sounds like some kind of relationship with electricity and things going on, doesn't it? Frequency, nodes 1, 2 and 8 perhaps coming into play. Something along those lines I'm looking at there. I'm still trying to work out what it is telling the story. Is it a halo, nodes, or nodes, group of nodes? A whole series of these things, or people telling you how they work? Going through the list of options.
Yeah. Yep. And I suppose when you're asleep, you might be more highly susceptible to frequencies and stuff. You know, we as people can learn languages when we sleep. You know, just our brains are machines as they are. I mean,
would you like to know what happened to Job's sons?
Yeah, go for it.
mm-hmm.
So this is from the King James Bible version, just for standardization. And it was so, when the days of their feasting were gone about, that Job sent and sanctified them, and rose up early in the morning, and offered burnt offerings according to the number of them all. For Job said, "It may be my sons have sinned and cursed God in their hearts." Thus did Job continually. So he burnt them as offerings.
It's a strange thing to do, but it's definitely
in the morning.
It's definitely not talking about people, then, is it? It sounds like node related to me. This. I'm not sure who Job is, but what his role actually is, Job. But Job could be. You remember the 12 Gates presentation? There's like an accompaniment of not just the sun's halo, but other things accompanying this train. They called it a train, didn't they? You know, it could be one of the train that follows the sun out.
Oh, hang on.
Did you say that he burnt them in the morning?
Yes.
They sinned and he burnt them in the morning.
Yes.
That kind of tells me that they failed. They didn't work right. And maybe when the sun came up.
Job also had 3 daughters.
That could also be interpreted as burnt them in the mornings. It could be it could be the fuel that powers the sun.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Because it is burning.
And he had 3 sons and 3 daughters.
It is burning something up, and then when it gets to the west and shuts down, it has to recharge again, doesn't it? 3 sons and 3 daughters.
Well, there's your positive and negatives of 3 sons and 3 daughters. That's the 3 opposites, or sets.
It could be those 6 items we've put on the grid. Those very big, large magnetic anomalies.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep, from the last presentation.
Yeah, we'll have to factor the new parts in now. Are they talking about nodes, halos, or other things that's switching mechanisms, basically? It sounds like Job could be part of that switching mechanism or something, doesn't it?
Yeah, very well could be.
Right, back to you, Al.
Okay. Undismayed by his failure to give Adam a suitable helpmeet, God tried again, and let him watch while he built up a woman's anatomy using bones, tissues, muscle, blood, glandular secretions, then covering the whole with skin and adding tufts of hair in place. The sight caught Adam with such disgust that even when this woman, the first Eve, stood there in her full beauty, he felt an inconceivable repugnance. Sorry. God knew that he had failed once more, and took the first Eve away. Where she went, nobody knows for certain.
Yeah, it does sound like someone's trying to make a person there, doesn't it? All these bits and pieces. Well,
Weird science.
parts of human anatomy going on there, isn't there?
Yeah.
But why would he be such disgusted? So that doesn't make sense, does it? Yeah. Not to me, anyway. And it just doesn't make sense to me why you would feel that way towards something that's just been created. Oh, there's a problem that we're not seeing there. You know, it's a process with a problem that we're probably looking at. Yeah, we'll move on and see what comes up next.
Yeah. God tried a third time and acted more circumspectly. Having taken a rib from Adam's side in his sleep, he formed it into a woman, then plaited her hair and adorned her like a bride. The 24 pieces of jewelry before waking him, and Adam was entranced.
The 24 pieces of jewellery remind me of the 24 elders around 0.0.
Yeah.
And it does sound now like they were trying to, make a perfect negative. Obviously, Adam is what they would call the perfect positive, unusable, and now they were trying to form a negative. So so there's a positive and negative. Your electrical connections. Why they would plate a hair and adorn her, I'm not sure, but.
Well, plated and adorned.
Well, saying that, plated kind of describes how wire's wrapped, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
When you look at copper wire in a cable, it's plated when you look at it. It could be electrical cable you're looking at there.
It also made me think only of the 24 elders, because that was my first thought, but also what about the 24 hours of the day?
Yeah, I thought that too.
Yeah, it could well be. More shall be revealed as we go on, I think. But yeah, it's getting interesting, isn't it?
Yes.
Because it might mean both anyway, because 24 is an important number.
Yeah. Some say that God created Eve not from Adam's rib, but from a tail ending in a sting, which had been part of his body. God cut this off, and the stump, now a useless coccyx, is still carried by Adam's descendants.
Right, that rib could be that lightning bolt thing again, the tail ending in the sting, which it would because there's electricity there. And it was part of him, cut this off, and the stump now are useless. So I think that's where it's dividing that the first form of lightning into a positive and negative. The useless coccyx is still carried by Adam's descendants. Well, yeah, that would still apply. The positive has been it stopped doing anything else but being a positive, and the negative's now been formed. So they've got a perfect positive and negative. So it looks like they've been experimenting with the electrical processes, trying to perfect it and getting it right. But over to you guys, in case you see something I'm not.
That makes sense to me. The sting, yeah.
Me too.
Messing around with electricity. He failed 3 times and then got it right.
Is that 3 again?
Yeah, I think that explains H correctly, or close to.
Others say that God's original thought had been to create two human beings, male and female, but instead he designed a single one with a male face looking forward and a female face looking back. Again, he changed his mind, removed Adam's backward-looking face, and built a woman's body for it.
That's telling me it's a magnet. Well, you got the male and female on opposite sides. You know, it's exactly, it's describing a bar magnet to me. Or anything electrical that's got the positive and negative opposite of each other. Changed his mind. So what was made next then? Can't wait to see. Can't wait to see.
Still others hold... Were you going to say something?
I was going to comment, but it doesn't matter.
Still others hold that Adam was originally created as an androgyne of male and female bodies joined back to back. Since this posture made locomotion different and conversation awkward, God divided the androgyne and gave each half a new rear. These separate beings he placed in Eden, forbidding them to couple.
Same again, isn't it? It's like a magnet. There can never be a couple because they're the complete opposites.
Exactly.
What I was going to say before was about the Adam's backward-looking face and built it into a woman's body, kind of thing. Okay, he knows its works. He knows the complete opposites, so he knows he's going to call it a female or the negative. You know, I think that's on that sentence before. So just finishing that off there. Yeah, I think that's where he actually named it a positive and negative, or Adam and Eve, as it was obviously called in those times.
Yep.
So in Eden, back to that part, these separate beings he placed in Eden. We can jump to Ceres' findings of the four pillars, because they do look like very large bar magnets to me.
Yeah, they do.
So yeah, we'll have to remember that and overlay them. This could be what they're talking about, these very large bar magnets that we've got down below. There will be a bit somewhere, I'm thinking, where we'll either get to the four pillars or we're going to find out there's 4 bar magnets down there. But yeah, back to you.
I mean, I agree. We already talked about this prior, but still, yes. And now that you mentioned Ceres map, absolutely, they do look like magnets.
Yeah, they have to be, don't they? And there is a strong pull on the north. So, yeah, we're probably sitting right on top of 4 bar magnets. Well, kind of in the middle of them all.
Yep. And then it just goes through the sources. And this is the author's comments, which probably won't be anything like ours, so I'm not going to go into that. And that's it.